Well, it's highly overcast out here, friends and family. We've got dark, cloudy skies. They say some rain may be coming through. But today was brutal, 98 degrees. Here on August the 31st. Yep, it's hard to believe. It's almost September now. But it will be tomorrow. Yes, it will. We got a light breeze. Well, I must say it's rather warm. It's coming out of the northeast, so I know those of you up there are rather toasty too. But yeah, I just thought I'd come out here, sit a while, see if the kitty crew shows up. Maybe feed them some snacks, you know, their treats. We'll see if they come up and talk to y'all a while. Well, there you are, Spooky. Is that you, Speedy? Where's Cleo? What? Here, I got something I think you'll like. Oh yeah, yep. You heard it, didn't you, Speedy? Here. Yep, from your friends, fans, and viewers. Right here. You want some? And we got some little kids playing out on their bikes on the street. Whew. That breeze is rather warm. But at least it's down to 91. Cleo. Wonder where Cleo's at. Well, the kitty crew, they're a little skittish because there's strangers around. So we might have to wait until they go on. But let's look at that yard. Look how brown it all is. Because we haven't had rain since I can remember now. But soon the rain will fall. Right, Cleo? I'm glad you showed up. I guess you heard. There's treats here. Yeah. Your friends and family sent them to you. Yeah? Do you want some? Okay. I hear you, Speedy. Here we go. You gotta get out of the way. We'll just give you a few right here, so y'all can snack out, okay? There you go. Well, as y'all can see, they love these to death, these Friskies Party Mix treats. And they'll sit there and gobble them all up. So yep, they're enjoying their treats, even though it's still rather toasty out here. You know, I think it was last week when we had a couple of days in the 80s and we had a cool northeast breeze. Well, that's not been the case today. That breeze is nothing but cool. Rather strange, I must say so myself. But look at Spooky. He's trying to get everyone he can. Of course, Cleo, she worries about what's coming up on her. Speedy, she's not checking up. She's getting everyone she can too, for Spooky, the treat monster, gets them all. Yeah, but we all know Cleo won't let Spooky get close to get all of hers. She's right over her stash. But yeah, the kitty crew's doing fine. They're all looking fine. They're all healthy and well. And that's because of a lot of you who help on Mr. Tom out with the kitty crew. Y'all eat up. Enjoy your treats. Oh, well, there you are again, friends and family. So glad you could stop by again today for another episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood. Yeah, it's part of my appearance. Makeup lady's off. It's Saturday, the 31st. Yeah, she takes the weekends off. In fact, she had a 3-day weekend. You know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And of course, Monday's a holiday, so I guess it's a 4-day weekend. And, you know, Gracie, she said, Papa, I'd help you. Make you look all pretty and good, but I ain't got no thumbs. I just can't help you out. So there we are. And we got the watering all finished today, because if we don't water twice a day, what little bit I got growing will just all burn up and go away. So yeah, I just wanted to come out and talk to y'all and make sure that I wish you a happy Labor Day. I hope you're having one with your friends and family, wherever you may be, and that this episode and video of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood find you all well, safe, and enjoying times, like I said, with your friends and family. But I also want to talk to you about a few things that I just don't understand. Yeah, I was talking to a friend the other night, close family member, and often we do. And there are things I just don't understand about the life we lead now and the life we used to lead back when we were little and growing up too. And you might wonder, well, what's that all about? Well, I watch channels here on YouTube and other things on social media, like I know many of you do. And if you pay attention, you can see over the years how things have changed. It's like I like to watch cooking channels. Yes, I do. But in so doing, you see trends. And some of the things I see that I know we didn't used to do, and maybe it was because our grandparents, our great-grands, and of course our parents too, all came through what was called the Great Depression. And things stuck to them. They never got over it. And they continued what they'd done to get through the Great Depression all through the rest of their lives. And I know my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grands did till the day they died. And in my poorest moments, I've done that too. But one thing, you know, I think we can all remember when things came out, you know. We all remember Campbell's soup, right? And the one thing about Campbell's soup was, you know, I'm talking about the old-fashioned, regular red and white can Campbell's soup, was that everything was cut up rather small. From the vegetables to the chicken, the beef, or what have you. Yeah. And that way, in my mind, I guess every bowl had a little bit of something in it. But can you remember when Chunky Campbell's came out? Yep, it was chunkier. But that started a trend, not only in processed foods, but I've seen that trend evolve over time in how we've all cooked. Yeah, one time, especially when I've been poor, I dice up everything rather small, especially with the kids and family here when we were going through tough times. So everybody got some of everything in their bowl or on their plate. But now, over the years, we've gravitated to everything's big chunks. Big chunks of potatoes, carrots, celery, meat, whatever we're putting in a soup, a stew, or a dish. And then when you go to eat it, instead of getting a melody of flavors in your spoon or fork, you just get one thing, because your fork's full. Like you're eating a potato or a carrot or a piece of meat, but you're never getting that full combination of flavors that we once did and grew up with and cherished too. And I was thinking about that the other night. Maybe it sounds silly, but cooking has definitely changed. Not only in cooking, the size of things and how we put them in recipes has changed, but the amount of seasoning has changed. I mean, I remember back, especially with my 3 generations, grandparents, my parents, and my great-grands, they used seasoning sparingly, enough to flavor the dish, but not to overpower it. And maybe it's just me, and this is where I need your help and understanding. Maybe it is just me, and maybe it's not you. We tend to dump a whole lot of all kinds of different seasonings into the recipes and cooking we do now. And especially if you read old cookbooks, you'll see that's much the case. Are they more flavorful? Well, I guess so. But in my mind, as much seasoning that's being dumped in, are you getting any of the flavors? Are you getting any of the flavors of anything that you put in, except the seasoning? Like I see chicken dishes, beef dishes, shrimp dishes, seafood, what have you, that got so much seasoning in it. I'm not sure anybody now knows what beef, chicken, fish, what have you, even tastes like anymore. They know what it tastes like? All filled up with seasoning. But that's another thing I ponder, and I don't understand. I try to season to where it complements the meat or the vegetables, but not overpower them. I don't want to eat just seasonings. I want to taste what I cut up, what I bought, what I put in, and I want it enhanced. I want it full of flavor, but I want some flavor of my beef. Yep, these are things I think about. And this may be a strange video, but I thought I'd get your thoughts about this. Maybe it's just me and my perception, but maybe you have seen it progress too. Another thing that sort of I wonder about is I've got some salt and pepper shakers. I got a few. And I've had them quite a while. Those two glass ones you see me use all the time, I've had those most of my life. And they work quite fine. You shake them, the salt comes out. The pepper, you shake it, it comes out and does a good job. But now, you know, and this has happened over probably the last 5 or more years, everybody's got a salt jar or container, pepper, even put their spices in, got little swing lids or put little tops on them. And then they go in with their forefinger and their thumb, and they grab some out and they sprinkle it all over the top. Yeah, you know, that's what they used to have back in the dark ages, before shakers were invented. Now granted, if you're measuring out things like I often do, so I can repeat a dish, I use measuring spoons and I measure. Other times I don't. It's all about repeatability in the recipe. But when I'm just shaking it in to taste, I like my salt and pepper shaker. And all my seasoning bottles come with a shaker too. So I don't understand this grab a pinch, sprinkle it around, and go grab some more. One thing I've seen is a lot of people, they're touching all kinds of things, but then they're going into their salt, their pepper, their seasonings with the same fingers that they grabbed all kinds of things with. I don't think that's very hygienic, but that's my thought about it. That's why I don't understand. What do we got against shakers now that we went back, all the way back in time, to using our fingers? Maybe it's something to do with that dude that thinks he's so hot. What is he called? Salt Bae. He's got those fancy restaurants where he charges hundreds of dollars for his meals, and then he'll come by the table. He's got his little hand up and he sprinkles the salt, seasonings or whatever over the customer's meal. You know, it looks like a swan. It's bouncing off his forearm. Yeah, I don't need to pay for that. Just give me a shaker and I'll be fine. Yeah, I wonder about things like this. And then it's the whole thing with the vehicles. Every time I take a ride now, and a lot of that is because Alice, I've never owned big vehicles except with my farm trucks. I mean, the Focus was much larger than Alice is. Ooh, that wind's coming up now. I hope you can still hear me out there. But anywho, we're going to continue on. It's like with vehicles. Now that I have tiny Alice and she's just a little compact car, she gets a little afraid when she goes out on the interstate. Because another trend that has developed over the last 10 years that I don't understand, because people always crying and whining about the cost of gas, is it seems that the vast majority, I'm talking 90% or more, there's no more sedans or coupes, little 2-doors and 4-doors, like we all grew up with. I mean, the vast majority of families back in our growing up days had sedans or coupes. Coupes were 2-doors. Sedans had 4. The coupes were seen as a more sporty version for those with no kids, and the sedans were for families with kids. 4 doors. And if you had a much larger family, you had a station wagon, which that morphed into the minivan craze. That I can understand. But now, there's nothing but SUVs on the road. In fact, it's getting to the point where you can't even buy a sedan or a coupe no more. Some of the makers don't even offer. You've got to buy an SUV, which are much larger, much more expensive, use much more gas. And then there's the big, massive trucks now. Remember when we were growing up, first of all, not everybody had a truck. In fact, if you had a friend that had a truck, you felt privileged. Because if you need to go get something, bring something home, like the washer, dryer, refrigerator, freezer, or construction materials or what have you, you could get him to come with you or borrow his truck. And that's why we feel privileged to know somebody that had a truck, because the only people who had a pickup truck back in our day were people who actually needed them. Farmers, construction workers, repairmen, and what have you. Not every household had a truck. But even then, now, they're massive. They don't even hardly fit in the parking spaces no more. Rather than 2 doors, they're now all 4 doors. You can put up to 6 people in them. And massive beds. Put a whole sheet of plywood in. And I guess my wonderment is, and why I don't understand, is when I'm out riding about, just like when I was commuting back and forth to work, the vast majority of these SUVs and trucks only have one person riding in them. Yeah. Paying for a whole lot of vehicle just to tote one person around. On that off chance, the whole family's going to ride around. And I can guarantee you, I know of far many people who've got the SUVs and big old trucks, and the whole family just doesn't ride around. Except on rare occasion. But I don't understand how we got to here. It's just like our homes. My little home here has 3 small bedrooms. Homes nowadays got massive bedrooms, massive bathrooms, massive kitchens. In my mind, a lot of wasted space, and of course a lot of space you have to heat and cool, as well as pay for. Back in our day, houses were rather small, and we only had 1 bathroom. Now, if you ain't got at least 2, you're looked down as poor. And if you don't got 3 or 4, well, you ain't nobody no more. Yeah, I don't need that many bathrooms. I grew up with 1 bathroom. You probably did too. And I've had a bath and a half, about the most I've ever had. But just like this house, it's got 1 bathroom. I had 2 children, a wife and me living in it. Never seemed to cause a problem, except on a rare occasion. But we worked through it, just like we all did back in our childhood. So I think about things like that. Think about how we cook differently now, what we drive, what we buy for our house, all kinds of things. And many of it, I don't understand how we got here. I don't know how it came to be. But this is where we're at. And this is what we do. So if you will, in the comments below the video, this is just a few of the things I wonder about. Maybe you do too. Maybe you're not that analytical and you don't care. It's not that I care. People can do what they want to do. But I was just wondering, what everybody's thoughts were about some of these things. Do you still use salt and pepper shakers like I do? Do you make everything in great big chunks so you only eat one thing at a time? And maybe you do got a big old SUV and you're happy with it. And that's your freedom to do that. But how many people are you toting around most of the time while you're paying the cost of all that? Anyway, I can't afford a big SUV. Can't even afford a new car. But that's okay. Alice is mighty fine and she drags me and all of you around. So she's doing a good job. But yeah, this is just a video out here on the front porch talking about some things that I wonder about in the darkness of the night, and to say hi and wish you all well on this Labor Day weekend. You know, I hope you're celebrating it, because we made it almost to September. It's tomorrow. And I remember working and looking forward to Labor Day. It was sort of like the last outdoor holiday. Go to the lake, go camping, the barbecues. You remember when we all used to get together for barbecues? Yeah, we just didn't text and stop and visit in the store. We actually went to other people's homes. I can tell you, if this Labor Day weekend, like so many past, is any indication of people not doing that anymore, yeah, I'm thinking most Americans don't do that so much more. They just stay in their own little place, do their own thing, and that's all fine too. I guess, you know, when you get our age and you look back in time, every generation says their time was better. Well, I don't really say ours was better, but I know it was much different than our time now. It doesn't seem to be as much family, as much togetherness. I know we don't get along near as well as we used to. There used to be rules about what you could talk about in company. And of course, that's all out of the window, especially with social media. Yeah, I think you remember those rules. Don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics, and the list just went on. And yeah, I'm a man of faith. I believe in God, but I don't let it rule the channel or rule over what I put out. But everybody knows I am. And if they're not, that's on them, and I'm fine with that too. Because we all have to make our own decisions in life. And I don't know how all this will be perceived and come out. Just something I wanted to do, been thinking about. So hey, let me know in the comments below the video your thoughts, as well as what you got going on this Labor Day weekend. Hey, what you barbecuing on the cube? What are you making up? Are you having family and friends over? Making a big deal? I hope you are. Me, I'll be making something up for me and the kitty crew. Well, mostly me. They'll have something they adore. And I'll be celebrating too. The last great weekend of summer before we go into the fall. So, like I said, it's starting to get late. I got to whip up some food for me and the kitty crew. So, until I see you on that next episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, y'all take care. Stay safe. May God bless you as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Spooky, you're all conked out. Those treats put you down, don't they? Yep. It's been a rough day. Hasn't it, Spooky? He's just snoozing at my feet. We got Speedy over on the walk. She's cleaning up after her supper time treats. And of course, Cleo's behind me, always guarding my back. Cleo, did you have my back? Or are you just wanting some more treats? Well, I might come out here later in the night and surprise you with a few more. Oh, you got leaves in your water, so I have to go change it out too. Well, let's head her on in. I think I'll fix you up some special chow. It's Labor Day. We got to celebrate. Yes, we do. Woo, we got to get in and get her going on. Later, all.